Everyone was rightfully talking about the senator being tackled and manhandled at Kristi Noem's press conference. However, it was in the middle of this chaos that we all missed an alarming bombshell. That's right, Los Angeles has been left panicking as Trump's Homeland Security quietly dropped a brutal bombshell. Trump's authoritarian overreach is absolutely abysmal, and now his immigration crackdown is even negatively impacting his own approval rating.
Where we are right now, both Quinnipiac and AP Newark, the worst for Donald Trump in this term so far. He is very much way underwater, at least in these two polls.
And this is overall approval. How about specifically on immigration?
Yeah, so immigration has been a strength for Donald Trump. That was why in the beginning of the week I said that Donald Trump wanted this fight. Maybe he shouldn't have wanted this fight. What are we talking about here? Let's take a look at the net approval rating for Donald Trump on immigration. You go back to June 1, he was at plus 4 points. Look at where he is now, minus 2 points in the aggregate. That is a drop of 6 points in only about 2 weeks' time. The only thing that's happened over the last 2 weeks is obviously Donald Trump's ramped up immigration hawkish agenda. And at least at this particular point, the American people are saying, no, we do not like that. And they have turned against the president on his core strength issue of immigration. He is now underwater on the issue that has been strongest for him.
This is because Americans are sick and tired of Donald Trump's bizarre behavior. Massive protests are planned for Donald Trump's birthday parade. Protests so large, in fact, even Fox News had to mention it.
Now, not everyone coming to the mall tomorrow is excited about the parade as the president. Many Americans across the country, hundreds of protests are planned under the banner of No Kings. Now,
but still, various red states are threatening protesters, with Florida by far being the most severe. Florida officials warn ICE protesters violence could mean jail or death. Good old-fashioned Florida. At a press conference, Florida officials said rioting will be nipped in the bud right away. Quote, if you hit one of us, you're going to the hospital and jail, and most likely get bitten by one of our big, beautiful dogs that we have here. Does every conservative just talk like Trump nowadays? If you throw a brick, a firebomb, or point a gun at one of our deputies, we will be notifying your family where to collect your remains, because we will kill you graveyard dead. Yeah, leave it to Florida to just be the most unhinged of them all. I'm not even that surprised by this. After all, conservatives are obsessed with the fantasy of justified violence. But now Trump's violent, authoritarian overreach may only just be beginning. That's right, yesterday when everyone was paying attention to the senator being manhandled, Trump's Homeland Security quietly dropped a brutal bombshell, which has left LA panicking. Take a look.
At Kristi Noem's latest press conference, the chaos was front and center. Senator Alex Padilla was physically manhandled and thrown out by police as he tried to press her on federal overreach. But while the crowd fixated on that dramatic scene, Noem quietly dropped a chilling bombshell, one that sent shockwaves through Los Angeles almost immediately.
We are not going away. We are staying here to liberate this city from the socialist and the burdensome leadership that this governor and that this mayor have placed on this country.
With barely a pause, Noem announced that the Department of Homeland Security is not going away, and vowed it would liberate Los Angeles from its elected mayor and governor. The city was stunned. Local leaders scrambled for clarification. LA residents flooded social media with panic and disbelief. Was this a slip of the tongue or an open declaration of federal intent to override local democracy? The language was no accident. This is the latest escalation in a pattern we've seen coming. Back in 2024, Trump sat on Joe Rogan's podcast and praised authoritarian rulers who run their countries with an iron fist.
Well, I also
we're dealing with the smartest people. They hate when I say, when I call President Xi, they said, he called President Xi brilliant. Well, he's a brilliant guy. He controls 1.4 billion people with an iron fist. I mean, he's a brilliant guy, whether you like it or not. And they go crazy.
Right.
Say,
it doesn't mean he's not evil, or it doesn't mean he's not
yeah, of course not.
Dangerous.
But actually, we have evil people in our country.
Yes.
If you have a smart president, he can deal with Russia. He can deal with all of it. Russia would have never gone into Ukraine if I were president.
Now his administration is following that same playbook, deploying federal agents, threatening elected officials, and testing the waters of dictatorship, all while calling it liberation. This isn't about protecting the public. It's about conditioning them to accept the unthinkable. And the fascism? It's not just creeping in anymore. It's barging through the front door.
This is just authoritarianism, plain and simple. There's no beating around the bush, no sugarcoating. People are fed up with this nonsense. Time and time again, America has stood up against authoritarianism, and this time will be no different. Besides a few loud voices supporting Trump, the majority of Americans, the majority of real patriots, want nothing to do with the Trump administration.